This is a piece that also was moved. It's on the Beloit College campus now, and it always has been. It was done as a commission when they built the new library. The old new library, the original library, which is since the war. I don't know what year it was, 1965, I guess. But you would be on a balcony that had desks for students along this balcony that had a railing, and you could look down into the basement level. So you could see this 3-story sort of thing. It was all glass, faced north, and there was a garden out there. So I put this piece of sculpture out there, and I wanted it to be tall and thin. So what it is, in order to see it properly, you probably cannot see it when you're standing on the same level that its base is. But if you were to be up above it, down on there, you would see a head, a very simplified head. But then the thing that you really notice are 2 arms holding an owl with its stretched wings. So it's called reach. An owl is a symbol of knowledge. So all the students are reaching for knowledge. And it's a rather, it's kind of nice to take, a lot of times folk tales and everything become more a folk tale and more a children's tale than what the original story was. Because it was, a lot of times it was a spooky kind of story. The trolls that run the bridge and stuff. I can remember books, and even back there when I was young, a troll was something that's kind of spooky underneath the bridge. But that comes from Ireland and some of these European folk tales. So this kind of is, in a sense, building on that whole idea of the owl and you reach for this sort of thing. But its basis is, in a sense, out of some of these older tales. And I think a lot of times we overlook the fact that some of the things that are so common to us really came from a very serious and deeply felt folk tale that people grew up with. And the kids, when you're a kid, and today all this spooky stuff that they're doing, they're going to keep that in their minds, and it's going to be, skulls and everything like that. I don't know where there's no reason for them to have to worry about skulls. You go over to all the trouble they have in Syria and stuff, then you're talking about skulls and chopping off heads. So that's what that is, and it's made out of, it's quite tall, and it's also made out of brass sheet. And the fact is, usually if they say sheet, and the way people do welded sculpture, all my sculpture basic is welded. And the reason I use welded sculpture is that I can do anything with it. I can take a rod and make just a linear sort of, make a line drawing with it. Or I can make that line drawing, I can take this, not only can the rod be flat, but it can also twist and do all kinds of things. But I can also take a piece of metal, and I can pound it into shapes. Okay, and I don't like the idea of seeing a rod. When I use a rod, I don't want it to just be like a rod. Or when I use the stainless steel tube, I don't think if you see it as a group of tubes. It becomes a part of a total sculpture. And the reason is that the sculpture itself and the rod are both the same material. So one blends into the other, even though it's 12 feet tall. So people don't understand that, but that I have to build it, and I want to have a certain authenticity to it when I'm building it. I don't want to do funny little things, I do enough funny stuff without having to put it in my sculpture.